This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Rule. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news this evening, the Grand Bahama Port Authority began hosting a series of training sessions on Grand Bahama. The focus, the pending introduction of the value-added tax come January of 2015. Joan Davis-Roll reports tonight that the interest level among local business owners on opening day taking port officials by surprise.
Licensees of the port getting the facts on VAT. Record number of licensees signing up during day one of the training session. It was standing room only as licensees of the Grand Bahama Port Authority packed the conference room of the Pelican Bay Resort. Business persons seeking the latest facts about the highly controversial value-added tax. Commercial manager at the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Charles Pratt, says the goal is to tackle the issue in a comprehensive fashion.
Knowledge is power. And so having knowledge will help you better understand and appreciate it. And people are usually afraid of what they don't know. And so, again, we recognize that the Grand Bahama Port Authority recognizes that, and we thought it very wise to hold these training sessions. The argument is it applicable? Well, right now we're discussing that vigorously. But in the meantime, we want to hope for the best and prepare for the worst. And so, hence, we have the VAT training for licensees of the Grand Bahama Port Authority.
Leading the team of VAT experts is Keith Worrell. His goal, he says, is to allay the fears of licensees regarding VAT.
I think they're going to find that many of those fears were unfounded, that indeed VAT will not impact the way they do business, nor of necessity their cost of doing business. Now, is there going to be some administrative costs involved? I'm sure there is going to be. Every time there are regulations put in place or new regulations or old regulations, altered, then yes, there is going to be a cost associated with compliance. But over and above that, the actual cost of producing your goods or services really should not be impacted.
What do you think about the response so far this morning? Obviously, a pack capacity, this is definitely generating some concern.
Well, I'm not surprised by the interest. I think that now that the dust has settled, I think we've all come to the realization that this is a fact. It's here. It has to be. We have to comply, and I think that people are now keen to move forward.
There is technology designed with VAT in mind, and computer whiz Dario Roberts is urging businesses to become VAT ready.
QuickBooks is a leading provider when it comes to accounting software. A lot of people did not know that there is actually a VAT version of QuickBooks. Yeah, the UK uses it right now. And so with the Bahamas coming on stream with the value-added tax, it's now important more than ever to be able to introduce this VAT version of QuickBooks. This software actually does all the work for you. You just input the information in and you click a button and it files returns for you.
On Wednesday, the VAT training will be geared for persons working in the trade, industrial and manufacturing sectors as they explore the world of VAT. Joan Davis-Roll, ZNS Network News.
In other news, the Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, and Minister for Investment, Kalis Roll, heading a delegation for the World Investment Forum in Geneva, Switzerland. The forum is a high-level biennial assembly that provides a global platform to engage policymakers, the private sector, and other stakeholders in discourse on foreign direct investment policy formulation and promotion. Now, the delegation includes the Director of Investments at the Investment Authority in the Office of the Prime Minister, Kendia Ferguson, and project officers Melissa Forbes and Leslie Dorset from the Ministry of Grand Bahama. While in Geneva, the Bahamas Investment Authority will conduct presentations on investment opportunities in the Bahamas generally, and in particular Grand Bahama. Other countries participating in this forum include the United States of America, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Zimbabwe, the Netherlands, and the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe. Now, the forum wraps up on Thursday. Well, it was historic for the island of Grand Bahama as the largest Christian network in the world broadcast its machinery to our shores. Tonight, Trinity Broadcasting Network program Praise the Lord will air that program that was recorded on the lawn of the Grand Lacaine Resort. Many local pastors and musical artists are expected to be featured. Tonight's broadcast is projected to deliver an economic boost for this island. Bahamians turned out in large numbers to take part in the Trinity Broadcasting Network's Praise the Lord program. Artists like international recording artist Donnie McClurkin and Smokey Norfolk attended the event as it was hosted by Matt and Lori Crouch. Many Bahamian pastors were featured, including Pastor Eddie Victor, who believes that many prophetic words were spoken about this island during this historic production. Those prophecies, he believes, confirms that restoration is on the way.
TBN coming here, I believe, was a key to fulfilling those prophetic words. Also, when we examine the scriptures and we look at Isaiah 42, Isaiah 42 actually is a prophecy about the glory of God that's going to come to the islands of the sea. And in one particular verse, it talks about that the people will praise the Lord in the islands of the sea. And so Praise the Lord come in here. That program, TBN, which is seen all over the world, the largest Christian network in the world, came here to Grand Bahama.
Bishop Ricardo Grant says to have the largest broadcasting Christian network broadcast from our shores is of global significance.
The message of the islanders is something I believe that the Master himself is highlighting, and having the largest broadcast or Christian broadcast network coming only adds to the fact that this stands true, that there shall be a roar from the islands, and that roar in itself simply says that the standard, the way of worship, our style of worship, as well as to the sanctity of what it is to be a real Christian nation is something that we have been living for years.
Victor agrees. He says the show will have a far-reaching effect.
Grand Bahama, the Grand Lacayan Resort, Grand Bahama, and the people of Grand Bahama are going to be seen all over the world. And not only will it be seen at 10 p.m., what happens that once that program has aired, it will be available on TBN's website on video on demand. So it can be seen at any time, anywhere. Then there's going to be a rebroadcast that will take place the next day, probably around 5 p.m.
The program was recorded on the Great Lawn in early September and will be carried on TBN tonight at 10 o'clock. Well, in news from the crime beat, a 24-year-old man of Porgy Bay in Bimini is in police custody, accused of robbing a visitor to that island. Police tell us that around 3 o'clock Monday morning, officers received information that a male visitor, while at a resort in Bimini, was reportedly approached by 3 males who robbed him of $800 cash and other personal items. The Porgy Bay resident was arrested in connection with this incident. Investigations are continuing. And still on the crime beat, immigration officers with a busy holiday weekend. On Saturday evening, 3 Brazilian men were arrested at the domestic terminal after getting off a flight from Nassau. Immigration officers say following an investigation, they determined that the Brazilian had overstayed their time in the Bahamas. On Monday morning, a Coast Guard vessel turned over 5 Cubans to immigration officers. Reports say they were intercepted at sea in Bahamian waters on Saturday. Now, last evening, officers on routine patrol in the Boodle Bay area stumbled across a Chinese national wandering in that area. When officers checked his passport, they discovered that he had overstayed his time in the Bahamas. Then, around midnight, immigration officers went to the Tynes Bay area where they found a group of illegal Haitian immigrants hiding out in bushes by a canal waiting for a vessel to take them to the U.S. Now, all of the immigrants were taken to the Immigration Department for processing. They will be taken to the capital to be detained until they are sent back home. Stay with us, more news coming up right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. A local program is making major strides in our community. Counselors assisting with the local government junior council program were recently invited to Trinidad and Tobago to participate in a Train the Trainers workshop. Many ideas were exchanged and the counselors were trained in the area of engaging young people in the process of local governance. The junior counselor program coordinators are now taking their knowledge to the high schools throughout the country.
You can expect great things coming from the future junior counselors that will be elected in short order all around the Bahamas. These young men and women will be tasked with helping the senior local government counselors perform our duties more effectively, especially in the area of youth development. Young people must be included in the national conversations of our country. we really represent the situation where if we can be trained and mentored in our youth, it would facilitate mentorship and succession planning in our country that would ensure that we have a strong, viable cadre of leaders to lead us into the future. These same young people today who we're investing in will serve in key leadership roles tomorrow.
Now, Deputy Chief Counselor Navarre Smith says the council has plans to introduce the program in the private school system as well.
By going into the schools and bringing them in at the very early age, we intend to be able to bring a greater awareness as to what is local governance and how to become involved.
In other news, the quaint community of McLeanstown came alive yesterday with the 42nd annual conch cracking competition. Now, the big cultural festival drew hundreds, all looking to get a glimpse of that competition. Community as residents from all walks of life and visitors from all over the world traveled to the eastern end of Grand Bahama Island for the cultural show. The festivities got started with a demonstration on how to pull the conch from the shell and then a media conch cracking competition. Entering the competition was Hadley Forbes from H. Forbes Charter, Van Dyke Hepburn from BIS, and Elizabeth Grant and Sherry Saunders from the one and only ZNS Northern Service.
Oh, look at that, first place, Forbes Charter, hands down. That wasn't even a minute, 1 minute and 2 seconds.
Forbes emerged the winner, Hepburn second, and Grant and Saunders fought minutes later, not just with the conch, but also for last place. Tourists from as far as Australia say the conch cracking event was an experience that made their trip extra special.
We don't have anything like it in Australia.
Wow. Have you tried the conch yet?
I have tried it, very tasty. As I can say, I have never tasted anything like it before.
ZNS News also caught up with the conch eating champion. He says he's been the champion from 1996 to 2010.
I've been here at least 20 times.
Wow. Why do you keep coming back?
Because it's fun.
What do you enjoy most?
The people. The friendly people up here cracking the conch, eating the conch, drinking the beer.
How do you like your conch prepared?
By the way, this is not the first time. My
conch salad, conch fritters, grilled conch,
years ago,
stewed conch,
the media category was
any way they cook it.
ZNS News also caught up with the conch eating champion. He says he's been the champion from 1996 to 2010.
I know I'm going to be the champion today.
Bahamians turned out in large numbers to support the 42nd annual conch cracking competition. Many say they were impressed with this year's event.
I had some really good cracked lobster, some peas and rice, conch, macaroni, so conch salad. I saw somebody had some delicious stuffed looking, so I'm about to get that in a little bit. The food is awesome. That's what I mainly come for.
I'm from the fascinating town of Freeport, Grand Bahama. I'm loving it. Could have done with a little bit more shade, and I've only been called a tourist every other minute, so it's pretty good. The fritters are good, the fish is good, the macaroni and cheese is off the chain, so I've gained 200 calories, and I'm drinking a little bit of gully wash, so I'm having a good day.
I am exceptionally proud of the McLeanstown community for actually putting it on for their 42nd year, and so I'm glad that I'm here and to be a part of it, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
For those who missed conch cracking this year, well, you'll just have to wait until next October. Well, finally, in news this evening, after a series of interviews and meetings with students at Jack Hayward High School, the institution has selected its student leaders for the year ahead. But this is no ordinary group. Jack Hayward Principal Yvonne Ward says she's pleased to have a good number of male students step forward to serve as role models.
I am sure that this group will far exceed previous years. Why? Because this year I'm so pleased to announce that we have so many male leaders. that we had to choose from. The competition was very stiff. Usually we have more females who are leading, but this year we have many male leaders, and I hope that we can even win the prize this year of having the most males who graduate in 2015.
Now, guest speaker for the installation, Eldon Sherlock Prince from Kingdom Worship Center, had some advice for students and parents alike.
Well, it was threefold. To the prefects, it was basically encouraging them to be focused. The Bible says in the book of Luke in the 2nd chapter that Jesus grew in wisdom and in stature and in favor with God and with man. And so I was trying to show them that in order to be successful, you must grow in wisdom and in favor and in stature with God and with man.
Now, this year, parents and guardians of the student leaders were able to pin their children. During the ceremony, Angelo Dames was named head boy and Ashley Gardner is the head girl. Let's look at stories making news this evening. Stay with us. Ricardo Lightborn has a check on sports when we come back.
Hey everybody, welcome to Sports with Ricardo Lightborn. Let's get right to it. It was a celebration for Rashad Monroe and Quentin Roll and their families as they actually step towards Major League Baseball as it simply will be going forward. Let me tell you, some things are happening in a real positive way. Baseball players Rashad Monroe and Quentin Roll signed minor league baseball contracts with the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds scout Patrick Knoll said the recruitment effort started back in 2013, and both Rashad and Quentin are headed to rookie ball.
They leave on Wednesday for rookie ball. For them, it will be in Dominican, Santo Domingo, Boca Chica, Dominican Republic. They will be there for 6 weeks. In Rashad's case, in Quentin's case, he'll be there for 3 weeks since he's still in school. They'll be there basically for instruction. They just, from a Cincinnati player development perspective, they want to see exactly where they are, what they need to work on, provide them the details of the system, what's required of them moving forward into the system. Rashad is going as an outfielder. Quentin is going as a catcher.
For Quentin, it's a dream come true. Mother Naya Buffy Cooper is elated. All the hard work on the diamond is now paid off for the youth catcher.
I feel very good. I've been waiting on this all my life. It's the one goal I set for myself from I was small. Said I was going to make it there. And it's finally happened. I'm very proud.
Rashad has recently graduated from Sunland Baptist Academy and is still living a childhood dream. The opportunity, he says, to play pro baseball.
I still don't believe it. I think I got to go there first before, you know. But I was very excited. We're still excited.
Is it important that the two of you guys go at the same time? At least you got somebody to chat
Yeah,
with.
because they say everybody speaks Spanish. We got a little Spanish, but we got to brush up on our Spanish a little bit more.
It's a goal opportunity for the two young baseball players and indeed the Bahamas. Their development will be based on hard work and effort on and off the baseball diamond. Well, the Cincinnati Reds' decision to sign Quentin and Rashad was not by chance. You see, the Reds actually have a plan for both of these players, and it's also straightforward. It's an easy formula. They just got to get to the majors. That's what Pat says.
Everybody is signed with a goal and an expectation to be in the pros, in the major leagues. So they have a plan for them. Whether it's a 6-year plan, 5-year plan, there's definitely a plan to see these boys in the major leagues in the upcoming years. So Dominican Republic rookie ball is the start for all of this.
Now, I notice also you've also had some training yourself in terms of what's going on. How has your training been going at this point as being a rep?
It's been great. I just came back from Fall Instructional League in Arizona with the Cincinnati Reds. It was a great experience, Ricardo. I mean, it was good to be with the team. You know, you have legends of the game, or the Eric Davises of the world of Cincinnati Reds, to be just to be in the same locker room with those men, speaking about baseball, speaking about development, speaking about hitting, pitching, the works, and it was just a good experience.
18-year-old Rashad Monroe made a stop at his old stomping ground this morning before heading off to Dominican Republic. You see, folks, this is what happened. The entire Sunland Baptist Academy student body gathered a special assembly to wish him the best. Principal Merton King reminded him to always put God first, and he will surely be successful. Monroe receiving a warm welcome and being escorted by the class of 2015. He also received the token of love from PTA President Bonnie Baisden on behalf of the institution, and to take him as far as he's going to be traveling to Dominican Republic is encouraging those students that are going to be there in the school to look really positive.
I'm just going to tell them what it means to be signed, you know, the process of getting there, all the hard work I had to do, but it's not really hard. Once you know what you want to do, you're going to put the work in to get it.
Well, Monroe graduated from Sunland Baptist Academy this past June, and his final party words to the school, he proclaimed that he is aspiring to be a pro baseball player. And he says once he gets to the pros, he's taking me with him.
The Spanish, the different foods, you know, getting up every morning, saying that I'm a pro, come out to work hard every day. And I signed in July. It felt unreal. It still feels unreal. I think I'll have to leave first before it sinks in. But it was a long process, but I'm glad it's finally over.
And both of the kids are going to be heading out tomorrow. I'm going to wish them all the luck, and I know they're going to do exceptionally well. The Grand Bahama Softball Association Ladies, Men, and Women's Championships continuing tomorrow night at the GV Sports Complex. The Wolverines and the Reds are in the driver's seat. The Candies Wolverines series with the Portside Flyers is one of hit runs and errors from the first pitch. The Wolverines bats have been the headlines of the series, and Patrice Duncombe has been that spark. The Flyers ace Narissa Lockhart Saunders understand the pressure and has made some pretty good pitches. Seleka Williams has been given the Wolverines workhorse duties, and she's accepted. The defense has held for Seleka some sure gloves on the infield, the 5-3 out on display. Williams in Game 4 missed on the corners and issued the free pass. Softball is a team sport, and the Wolverines played like a team, and that simply showed. Sheena Pinder at the plate. Portside Flyers defense came into question, and the errors proved to be very costly. There were a few bright spots on defense for the Flyers. This was one of those occasions. Candies Wolverines sit on a 3-1 lead in this series, taking Game 4 17-3 to score. Seleka Williams on her game. The men's series between the Controlled Chemical Sweepers and the Pats Uniform Reds have been one of highs and lows. The Reds have actually some firepower and played small ball and smart ball against the Sweepers. Then again, for Controlled Chemicals, errors have been extremely costly, especially in Game 4. Pat's Uniform rallied to take Game 4 11-4 and some pretty good stick to boot. To make matters more painful for the Sweepers, the hurler Quinton Roll had some problems finding the strike zone. On the flip side of this thing, Ken Storr had a super series, and the magic number for the Reds now is 1. They're up 3-1 in the series. And the winner will actually be moving over to New Providence. The Abaco Grocery Diamond Dolls and the Creta Bulldogs are going to be headed to Nassau for the BSF Nationals, will be played the end of the month. Well, the Jack Hayward High School will be hosting its 18th annual mile run this coming Saturday. That's the 18th. The Wildcats Mile event gives all coach opportunity to see exactly where the student athletes are in terms of their fitness and also their need to improve their coming track and field season. Keep in mind that this is one of Grand Bahama Signature's event. Senior Headmaster Emmett Higgins, hey, let the race begin.
It's an annual fundraiser for the school and the PE department, and we encourage the wider community to just come out and be a part of it. We're going to have trophies for each age category, medals for each participant.
Well, this is the road racing season, and Grand Bahama Port Authority has been one of the major sponsors for the Wildcats Mile, and that's the same this year as well. Phys Ed instructor Desmond Shaky Hall says it's all going to be a great one. It's going to help the department, and looking forward to the event.
We encourage the community at large to be involved and get involved. We didn't point out that, you know, it has a lot of health benefits in terms of people keeping themselves together. We just want all the coaches and all the schools in Grand Bahama to come out, support the 1 mile run that we have here at Jack Hayward.
Now, that's always a fun event, and so make sure you guys get to the school, register by Friday so that you can ensure that you can run in the Jack Hayward Mile We got weather still to come. Don't go away.